Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Good Morning Black People with Morgan Rees. I'm your host, Morgan Rees. How you guys doing on this thankful, thoughtful Thursday? I would like to welcome my amazing guest, Eric Dugan. He is a mental health survivor. He can relate to people struggling with their mental health issues because he has been there. He reached the depths of his lowest depression and had the highest state of mania. He has struggled with a gambling addiction as well as many other struggles. And then on November, now at 17 years, now 17 years from his last major mania episode and 6 years clean from his addiction, he lives his life of dreams by helping people with his own struggles with mental health, homelessness, and addiction. He's an activist, he's an author, and he's a poet. So I would like for you guys to welcome my new phenomenal, amazing guest, the resilient Eric Dugan, to the show. Thank you, guys. Welcome, Eric.
It's Good Morning Black People with your host, Morgan Rees, author, podcasting host, online personality. Good Morning Black People, discussing social views, today's news, and interviews. Subscribe today at YouTube at Good Morning Black People.
Good evening, Eric. How are you doing this evening? There you go. I see that smile.
How you doing?
I am wonderful. I would like to say thank you again for joining my show this evening. I am so proud. I'm so humble. And I'm so grateful for you to take the time out your schedule to meet with me. So I did a little bio about you, but I want everyone to hear from you, your words yourself. Tell us a little bit about Eric and why, who you are, and share about your talents, your gifts, and all the things you're working on in this 2023 year.
Yeah, well, you did a great intro, so I appreciate that. A couple updates. I think I got to make a change in my website. It's been 20 years now, not 17 years, and I've been clean for, I think, 8 years. But other than that, that was a great job. Thank you. So Jordan Day, I'm a social worker now. I help people that are homeless or, homeless situations, find them permanent housing. I work for a nonprofit. We pay their rent for a period of time and then work on their goals so they can kind of go and take care of themselves, either through permanent assistance or just building up income and other things in their skills. So I love it. I don't work anymore because I love my job. It doesn't even feel like work anymore. And I've been able to successfully discharge positively in the last year. I think it's like 14 or 15 people into their permanent housing and on their own now. So that's why I do Jordan Day. I'm also a mental health professional. She mentioned I was a mental health survivor, but I became a mental health professional as well. Skill building, casework within group homes I've done in the past. And at night, I'm an artist. And then I'm also a writer. She mentioned I'm an author. So yeah, all those things combined kind of makes me who I am. But more than anything, I'm very authentic. Like I try to just be true to myself. Because if I'm true to myself, then the message will get out the right way. So I check myself constantly to make sure I'm doing that.
Wow. And I come from a family of mental health, so I know exactly all about that. You are stronger than people probably even know that you are. And that's a testament to God's grace of how far he's taken you. And by you giving back through social work, that's an amazing thing, because a lot of places don't have those programs. If they do, they kind of fall by the wayside, or you get someone who doesn't have their heart into it. They're just doing it, as you said, you love your job. You don't even consider it a job.
And I agree. Sometimes people are in for the wrong reasons, but there are also a lot of people that care. So it's kind of maybe a 50-50 split. I'm not sure. And yeah, by the graces of God, I'm here. Like she mentioned, about 20 years ago, I went through a traumatic experience that would have killed me if it wasn't for the graces of a higher power. So that's one of the reasons why I try to do all the things I'm doing now, because I think I owe it as I do it for myself too, but also for like payback, if that's, I don't know if that's the right word, but payback for giving me that chance. So,
well, if you don't mind, do you mind sharing some of your story or what you've been through, so you can kind of maybe help others, or give a little, you don't have to share a lot of it, or give a little synopsis of it just so people can understand. Because you never know who else is out there maybe needing some help and guidance too, and your story can help them.
Well, okay, so I actually would just do a poem which will kind of talk not really about that experience I had 20 years ago, so say, but more about my beliefs on being diagnosed bipolar. I have a little bit different belief than I think a lot of people do, and it's something I'm writing more about. You can find this poem on my blog, either in video where you could see it with a band, because I do this poem a lot with a band at different places, actually with the song Poetry, Say Yes, behind it. And then it's also on my blog in written form if you want to read the words. But this talks a lot about the connection between spirituality, bipolar, art, all those things put together. And see, a lot of people think of being diagnosed bipolar is a negative thing, but actually my mind is the gift I was given. So that's kind of what this poem talks about. Not really a lot of, there's all the things you got to care for sure. But there's also positive things you get by having the mind you have. So we'll just go into the poem. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
My mind is a gift, but they define me as manic depressant or bipolar. I'm told I have a disorder, told that I am ill, that I am less than, not as good as. They say my mind comes with restlessness, rapid speech, poor judgment, hallucinations, unrealistic goals, hopelessness, sadness, or suicidal thoughts. With this list, how does one remain hopeful? How does one become positive? If I listen to what they say I am, I will fight to merely exist like the millions that rot in group homes or day programs, or exist like the ones that fight to survive in psych wards, or worse, I will cease to exist. If I listen to what they say I am, they will profit as my genius stays tucked away. My gift will be lost in a large sea of labels. Society will knock me down with uppercuts more wicked than Mike Tyson. How do I even get up off the canvas if I listen to them? If they tell me that I am ill, that I am less than, not as good as? Nowhere in their manual can I find the benefits of my mind. But I know better. My mind is elevated beyond the comprehension of the ones labeled normal. My mind is not ill. My gift from God is this mind, the same mind that they call ill. It's ironic, isn't it? You want to get in touch with God, get in touch with the diagnosed, spend a day looking past our madness and into our messages. You want to get in touch with God, get in touch with us creative minds that often are also diagnosed as ill. God speaks to us through them, whether it is paintings, poems, a musical masterpiece, or any other art form. And people leave in awe and go home to judge the very same minds that created the art. It's ironic, isn't it? They do not recognize who we are. We, the diagnosed, come from a long bloodline. We see the meaning behind the curtain. We are broken free. We, the diagnosed, are the teachers. Let us remind you like a Beethoven composition or Ernest Hemingway novel. Let us paint the pictures your mind cannot. Help you travel to a more spiritual world. Expose you to something more beautiful, more grand. A world more like us. We are not less than, but more than. We feel, we see, and we hear what others cannot. Our minds are not ill. We are creative genius that are judged for one thing while admired for another thing. You should know it is impossible to reap the benefits of the mind without reaping the struggles of the mind. Like yin and yang, we are brilliance and insanity, creative and destructive. We are the uniqueness that existed before time. And we feel pain as existence has been left behind. And sometimes this world gets the best of us and we lose control. But with the right mindset, we become the greatness our minds were designed to be. If only we do not listen to what they told us we are supposed to be. That's it. Thank you.
Wow. Eric, whoo. I got to be quiet for a minute. So,
appreciate it.
Believe it or not, that was amazing. God,
thank you.
Careful.
Thank you.
I have both of my parents are bipolar.
Wow. Okay.
My dad passed, unfortunately, but my mother, I grew up with her as a bipolar schizophrenic person. And
wow. Okay.
I'm glad I told you, God got a plan in everything he does.
Yeah, God got a plan. And I mean, it's like, that's why I try to spin it like that, because the problem is a lot of people are diagnosed bipolar or schizophrenic or whatever else. And all they hear is all these negative symptoms and labels and all these other things. And what it does, it creates that truth in your mind. And then you start believing that your mind is ill and it's wrong and all these things. And like society has it a little upside down as far as I believe. Like the people that are quote unquote normal, they're kind of in their own illusion. Like, blinders on, where people that have this diagnosis can hear and see so many different things and they just curate it. Now, I want to be clear, like, I do understand that having this mind comes with things that I really have to care for. So I take medicine, low dose, but I take medicine. But more than medicine, I make sure that I exercise and write and get outside and have interactions with people, like all these things that you need to create that healthy bond that is even more important when you have the mind that you have.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Whew. You said a mouthful, because you're giving people in the world a better understanding of a person who's bipolar or schizophrenic. Mm-hmm. Because as you said, there's a stigma attached to the label. The only people who really won't do that is people who truly love that person and take the time to see beyond their mental situation, see beyond that, and look at the person themselves and learn the person and love the person themselves. Because that diagnosis is not them. Is a part of that diagnosis. And you explained it.
Right. God. Yeah, and I took, like, from the time, like, even coming out of the hospital when I had that traumatic experience and doctors were trying to tell me I'm ill, I refused it, right? I rejected that I was ill. Said, no, this was too spiritual. There's too many things that went around. Yeah, I mean, it was bad, but, like, there was a lot of spirituality experience that went with that. And I was like, no, there's too much truth here. I'm not ill. And I used that mindset the whole time. And created, like, try to be positive with my mind. And like I said, care for all the things, because I know my mind is more open, which makes me susceptible to some of those negative things. So I just try to keep that outlook, and I struggle at times, right? Like, I mean, we all do. That doesn't mean you're ill, but yeah, I have struggles like everyone else, but I try to always look inside and introspect and, keep an awareness about what I'm doing and what I'm not doing, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Like, I do a lot of introspection to keep me on track. And so actually, I mean, maybe a good place to put, like, it's a little early on. I don't know if I always mention this that much because it's so early on, but I am actually writing a book about this. It's more detailed than that poem.
Put it out there.
Early stages. It'll be a while, but if you follow my website at powerfulwords.com, I am consistently now writing a blog, not always about mental health, some other topics, but you can follow me there. And, later you can get the book. And if you subscribe to my mailing list, little off subject, well, not really. I have a video that you'll receive that will create an organized structure on how you can go after your dreams and visions. So, which is what I use myself.
Yes. And so you said you're an activist. So what are you, what project or what are you doing in your community where, I know you said you're a writer, you're an author, you're a poet, and you're an activist. So what are you doing in the community where you're supporting, or who are you supporting besides with your job and with your with things that you already have going on right now?
Yeah, so activism is a lot of things. So one, my job is activism. But outside of that, like, I've done a lot of different things, and I just step in where if it's something that I'm passionate about and I have the time to do. And just some examples is I've talked to legislators in Virginia making racism a public health crisis in Virginia. I've done protests. I've talked to, either done poems of protest or just was part of protest or spoke at protest. God, there's just a number of things. So that's definitely a subject that I'm passionate about too, is equality and looking at people not from the color of their skin. Actually, just a little quote from King Selassie, which is up on my wall. And I'm going to have to remember it real quick. Until the day, God, now I forget. Until the color of man's skin is of no more significance than the color of man's eyes, there will be war, right? A lot of people may have heard that in Bob Marley's song, but that's King Selassie's. Bob Marley used it. But yeah, so that's important to me. Anything that have to do with that or mental health. I talk a lot about spirituality and religion too. But so I just step in, like there's another organization, Community 50/50, that I try to help when I can. And we kind of partner a little bit with I work for Home Again, and we've done some partnerships there, feeding the homeless on Thanksgiving and stuff like that. So just where you could step in, like, I don't know, like you asked about a project. I don't know if I have, like, other than my main core job that I have one now, but I just step in when it feels necessary.
Well, I need you to do me one more favor. You got to give me another poem.
Okay.
You got to give me
let me think. Let's see.
Whatever that beautiful brain gives you.
Well, okay. Well, we've been talking about, racism and stuff like that. I haven't done this poem in a long time. I guess that's why I'm a little hesitant, but I think I can. I think I can get it. So,
as long as I don't have any curse words in it.
No, there's no curse. There's no curse words, and it's about diversity and unity. So it's just a matter if I haven't done it in a long time, so making sure I can remember clearly. But it's a poem. I was actually commissioned to write a poem reacting to one of the murals in Richmond. In Richmond, Virginia, we're known for murals. They're all over Richmond. Everywhere you go, there's going to be these paintings on these buildings and these different things. And there was a project, Mending Walls, where there was a series of walls. I don't know the number exactly, but there was a series of walls that were designed or created in response to social justice. I think it started after the George Floyd incident. And this poem that I did, I was commissioned to write a poem reacting to one of these murals. We don't have the mural in front of us, but you can see the mural if you're in Richmond, on the side of 4 Cyber Cafe, or you can go to the website Mending Walls website, and you can find the poem with the video and the mural as well. So we'll just try that one.
Okay.
In the heart of Columbia, Maryland, there's a 14-foot civic monument of a tree with abstract gold human figures as branches. Their feet are connected as one community, one family. On the other end of these human-formed branches, their arms are unlocked, raised wide open to the sky to represent individual growth. This was my childhood city, where groups of teenagers looked like a garden in the spring, where interracial relationships were as common as dominoes in Cuba. The city blended as color leaves in the fall, intentionally inclusive, represented by a sculpture named the People Tree. Now, many years later, in the heart of the art district, in the place I now call home, Richmond, Virginia, I stand in front of a mural, an expression of the same hope I had as a child. 2 artists, one white painter and one black painter. Each their own childhood, each their own eyes to the world. They painted from a different place. But together, they're able to create this multicolored mural. Purple, pink, yellow, orange, blue, red, black, green, orange, and brown. To one, it was dangerous to hold it to a gun. To the other, he had to worry about the fear of a lawn dart. One can see himself inside the Jetsons, while the other notices no one looks like him. One could enjoy the Dukes of Hazzard, where the other notices, or the other sees nothing but Confederate flag. Their brushes stroke from a different place. But through conversation, they're able to bridge the distance between to the last bit of paint dry. Now 2 worlds exist on the same walls. They confronted difficult questions. Like, what is the meaning of the Confederate flag on the General Lee? Like, why are there no black people in the future of the Jetsons? Why did that black kid get shot for playing with the toy gun? In America, this problem is as old as the red, white, and blue and flag. Roots are dying from generations of ignorance. A world that has been barely tolerant, even further removed from acceptance, insurmountable ways from brotherhood. A world that breaks the roots and poisons the leaves of children's trees. Such as it did to mine when I first left Columbia for a segregated Marine Corps. But now, in Richmond, Virginia, and other places around the world, walls are beginning to be mended. The reconcile past and confront the present. Because the more we know each other, the less we fear. The less we fear, the more we feel part of the same tree. Trunk is its base, roots strong at the core, with fully developed branches, with colored leaves, as beautiful as the mountains in November. Connected like these 2 artists on the wall, linked by a pink and light blue cloud, with the hope that one day the color of man's skin is of no more significance than the color of man's eyes. When that happens, each of us has the ability to grow the greatest self. So come talk to me and bring me back to that people tree. That's it. Thank you.
Wow. Eric, you're the man. You are the man. Now I got to find that mural. Look it up as soon as I got the phone with you, and I'm going to have to go to Richmond and visit that mural, because wow.
Yeah, if you go to the website, there's a place on there that the actual, because they recorded us doing the poem, and then you could see it with the mural and the poem together. But the mural's out there too. And you could scan your phone at the mural and it will pop up the website and you could see all that stuff. So it was really cool. It was like one of the most, honestly, it was one of the most honorable projects that I've been part of, because it was activism, but I was doing poetry. And it also talked about where I grew up, Columbia, Maryland, which is near and dear to my heart, and Richmond, Virginia, which is near and dear to my heart. And it brought all those things together because I grew up, we used to call it Fantasy Island because it was just different. It was really different. Like the groups you see were always different, cultures and races. And it was designed, it was purposely designed that way. Columbia, Maryland was. It was created with that in mind, to be inclusive of all people. And it was amazing to live there. And then you leave and it's like, wow, this is not how the world is.
So like things have changed in this neighborhood.
Right.
Like I'm taking my rose-colored glasses off. It's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's like, I went in the Marines and they say, Marines, they try to say you always see the color green. And I guess there's some truth to that when you're working together or whatever. But like when you're off, it's like different worlds segregated. And for me, I was like, oh my God, what is this? I don't understand this. Like,
look, everybody's my brother. I don't even care what color you are.
Right. I'm like, I don't know, so I was blessed to grow up there though. Definitely blessed to grow up there, but it was such an honor to do this project. Roscoe Burnham's, which is the poet laureate of Richmond, it was his project called If These Walls Could Talk. He hired 10 poets to do 10 different murals. He selected this one on purpose because we had some conversations. It was such an honor.
Wow. Well, is there anything else you would like to share with the world that you want them to know, some positive trinkets or anything that's pressing on your heart that I know this world right now is back in chaos again. Actually, the chaos never ended, but it's like it's quiet for a minute, and then it's like the quiet before the storm. Is there anything that you would like to share with everyone that's watching, a positive trinket or something that's near and dear to your heart that you want to share with everyone to know who Eric is, or know about Eric, or what Eric is passionate about?
Love.
Hey,
like you're talking about, the world, and it's a lot of not love. And I have to remind myself too, I'm human, so sometimes I fall short, but just loving each other, that's a lot. That's not just a feeling, but like a choice to like be all the things that loving is. That's what I try to do in my work, in my poetry, and everything else. The other thing I would say, along with just the more love you give, the more you're going to receive. And then the other thing I would say is, if we all looked, instead of pointing fingers, which is easy to do, if we all looked inside, even if things aren't going our way, or even if people are doing wrong things, which happens, just look this way inside. The more you do that work inside, the better off you'll be, because we all, like, I like to say, it's like a poker game. We're all given different cards at birth, and some may have better odds than others based on traits like skin color, gender, mental and physical capabilities. But like, if you play the cards you're dealt, those are the cards you're dealt. If you play them and you look inside, you can get where you need to get, even when the world is doing wrong things, which we know it does.
Well, you made a good point about those fingers pointing, because I always say, when you're pointing a finger at somebody else, you still got 3 other ones that's pointing back at you.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's right.
If somebody's pointing a finger at you, guess what? Tell them you still got 3 other ones that's pointing right back at you. So while you're trying to throw rocks at my glass house, look at yours. I got some rocks.
I mean, we're all human, and that's why I try to just keep looking inside, because I want to keep doing that work, because I fall short too. So
yeah. Well, I have a slogan this year. 2023 is all about me. So 2023 is all about
me.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's for sure.
Let no one stop you, no one slow you down. Say, look, I'm a finish that book. I need to look at you on Instagram within the next 6 months, and you say you start putting excerpts, start telling everybody. Because I believe it or not, I wrote a book myself, And I held to my book for 10 years, Eric. 10
Wow.
years.
Yeah, I've held this book for so long. And it's going to come now because, like I mentioned earlier, that on my website, if you subscribe to my mailing list, you'll get a little video. Like, I'm going to turn it real quick. This board right here, you can't really see what's on it, but that board
Your vision board.
is my magic board. So, I really, every day, I'm looking at that board and moving things so I can make sure I stay consistent, is which something that I fell short with in the past. We all do, life happens, but I make sure I'm doing the work because, like you said, it's all about me. And that's what I'm trying to focus on, is get all those goals done that I want to get done.
I believe you're going to do it. I'm not listening to anything less than when next time I hear from you, I want you to say, guess what, girlfriend? It's almost halfway done. I submitted to I found a publisher that's working with me, an editor that's working with me, and this is the title. And I'm gonna be seeing you blow up Instagram, social media with it, and your website. Because Eric, you got this. I promise you got this.
I appreciate you.
Oh yeah.
I know I have it. I know.
You're the man.
It's so nice to hear it from someone else. You're the man. We can all hear that. We all need to hear that.
We have to lift each other up. up. I'm not going to step on you. I wouldn't want you to step on me. It's all about growth. No matter what chapter you are, what path you're on, it's all about growth.
Yeah, and keep going with this podcast. Like, it looks like you're being consistent. You're getting people in and doing and talking about a lot of good things. So keep it going.
I would like to say thank you again for coming on. It's been a pleasure. It's been a blessing. It's been an honor. You are phenomenal, Eric. Don't let anyone else tell you anything different. Go ahead and finish that Imagine board. Make it a reality board. So what I would suggest you do, take half of that, and this is my reality, and these are things I'm still working on.
Oh no, the things that are done are over to. There's a lot of done.
Okay,
there's a lot of reality over there. Like, I move them over all the time, so every week I have a bunch of cards.
Put that book on the other side. Put that book on the other side. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm gonna tell you this real quick. What I did. I thought about what I'm gonna do, and I said, you know what? Even if I'm not gonna do it, if I start putting the action in, it starts happening. I put the action in of this book. It came.
Yeah, steps.
That's it.
Like, a lot of people, like in me in the past, get overwhelmed with looking too far out. Just take those steps. That's what this board tries to do, is just, here's the steps. This is what I need to do this week. So let's just do that and not worry anymore. I have my vision board, but I don't worry about it anymore because I'm working on those steps. So, like you said, action steps.
Well, Eric, tell everyone how they can find you and where they can locate you and reach out to you and where you are as far as your social media path, how they can get in contact with you. Share that information with everyone. Yeah,
thank you. So, and thank you for having me too. I appreciate it.
Oh, no worries.
So Instagram and Facebook, I'm Power from Words 804. That's Power from Words 804. My website is powerfromwords.com. That's where my blog and other things are. And you can also contact me by email at edugan@powerfromwords.com. That's everything.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much. I promise you. I would like to know if you want to come back on the show for me.
Yeah, I'll come back.
All right, then. All right. That's all I need to hear. We'll schedule a later date. Yeah. But guys, Eric Dugan, Power from Words. He's a writer, an author, a poet, an activist. He's doing it all. And he's a survivor of many things of life. But he's a survivor of things that people say that you're not supposed to survive from. He's doing it. He's a true testament. Hey, guess what? I don't care what they diagnose me with, because I'm stronger than that. I'm stronger than my diagnosis. I am who I am on purpose. So 2023 is all about who again, Eric?
That's me.
That's it. Put that on your vision board. Put that on your imagination board. 2023 is all about Eric Dugan.
I hear that.
I appreciate you again for joining my show. And guys, thank y'all for tuning in. Check out this man on Instagram, on his website. Please follow him on his website. Again, share your website one more again.
Powerfromwords.com. Powerfromwords.com.
And he's from the 804. He's from Richmond, Virginia. Okay. I need to come to Virginia because I haven't been to Virginia in a while. So I promise you, when I come through, I'm going to hit you up and see if we can get together and we can put some things together. And I look forward to working with you later on. And I definitely can't wait for you to come back. When you come back, you can tell me about that book, Eric.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this stuff that's done. We're not going to talk about the same, right?
We're going to talk about that book. We're going to talk about that book and how far you want to progress is, because I have faith in you. I believe in you. I trust you. You're going to do this. You got this. Well, guys, again, thank you for joining my show. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Again, check out Eric Dugan. He's a resilient survivor. He's a resilient, strong man, and he's standing by all of us, standing with us and standing by all of us, no matter what your color your skin is. It's good to hear someone else from another race, another culture that says, guess what? I stand with y'all because guess what? I don't believe in no color because I came from military. It was all green. And I'm saying thing. It's all green. Green is money. Green is love. Red is love. So it is what it is. Guys, thank y'all again for joining my show. I appreciate y'all. Stay tuned for my next show tomorrow. I promise you it's on and popping. Thank you for joining Good Morning Black People with Morgan Rees. I'm your host, Morgan Rees. And thank you again for joining me, Eric. And I look forward to you coming back on the show. You have a great evening. Please be safe and be blessed.
It's Good Morning Black People with your host, Morgan Rees, author, podcasting, online personality. Good Morning Black People, discussing social views, today's news, and interviews. Subscribe today at YouTube at Good Morning Black People.